Guys, so I genuinely recommend you guys watch this video, because that is going to give you a better context of what I'm criticizing. But I'm not going to play the whole video. I simply am not going to play the whole video. That is just something wrong, and it wastes a lot of time. The whole idea of the video is, and it's a good video, is that personality traits are more predictive of life outcomes than IQ. Now, here is the thing, right? Here is the thing. When you see people say this predicts that, a lot of times they're comparing sister results. They're not comparing it with a cause, right? Personality is not a stone stable variable. It's not imprinted into your genetics like IQ is. It is a result of your experiences. And I would get to that, why it is a result of your experiences. But the point I'm trying to get across is, take this as an analogy. Identical twins are more genetically similar than either of their parents. That doesn't mean they fucked themselves into existence. That just means they have the same source, right? That simply means they have the same source. So, and what this means is, happy people have more of a congruent personality type. Doesn't matter what makes them successful, but they are gonna have that similar personality types. They're gonna have low neuroticism. They're gonna have more optimism. They're gonna be extroverted. They're gonna want to meet with people a lot more. And it doesn't matter what actually makes them successful in life, but the personality is a sister result of those accomplishments in life. That is why, because it originates from the same source, they are more falling in line. Whereas what makes you happy in life can come from a different source, right? You can be extremely intelligent, and then make a lot of money, and maybe then you can get all of the things that give you that happiness in life, right? Or you can just be extremely tall, which helps you make again a lot of money by being a basketball player or be in some kind of a sport. Again, IQ is a partial cause. That doesn't mean that in individual cases, or in those partial number of cases, it is not the sole cause driving happiness. It just means that there might be more independent causes, and causes which, if stacked up, can give you a more happy life. For example, look at someone like Jeremy Meeks, plenty discussed in the Black Pill circle. That dude can't form a single sentence. When he gives you all of that good personality mumbo jumbo, he doesn't even form a single fucking sentence, right? Like, he tells you, let me try to do that accent. Like, I'm not being racist, alright? I know my black guys are gonna like this. He is like our accent gets made fun of pretty much. Tell you guys, nothing's possible. Don't ever get up. Like, he should be saying nothing is possible, actually. Like, that should be a more profound black pill message. And this, in fact, is the intro of our podcast as well. No, that's not how he said it, right? Is that how he said it? No, that isn't. The point I'm trying to get across is, with people like him, you don't need IQ to predict, because for a majority of men, we are told that the happiness in life comes from making a lot of money and having a good job, doing all of these hobbies. While there are obvious exceptions like him who have one genetic trait so high up, so amplified, that guys like him, they don't have to do anything else. So if they're lacking in that other trait, he has significant indicators of low IQ. He is put into acting because people just like looking at his face. He's a horrible actor as well, because he simply doesn't have the recursive thinking skills that you need. That requires a high IQ, that recursive thinking which makes you a good actor. He doesn't have that. While IQ is predictive of happiness, it is predictive of achievement-based happiness. like you make a lot of money. Like you have to ignore a lot of men then, and a lot of women who don't need to be, who don't need any kind of have any kind of IQ to even get a job. There are a lot of people who are simply getting employed because there are reservations put into place for them based on narratives, historically falsifiable narratives, which present them as oppressors. And you know exactly I'm talking about. Um, I'm talking about a lot of women. I'm not going to explain again why. I have explained this plenty, that historically there were jobs that they could not work and they therefore did not ask for rights. And when there were finally jobs which they could get employed in without giving themselves a physical deformity, they asked for it, and then they claimed they were oppressed and kept out of those jobs earlier, and therefore they got selective admission into these jobs. This is essentially what Roy Baumeister points out, that it's bullshit, that they were kept out of earlier jobs by conspiracy, and I fill in that they kept themselves out of these jobs because they were physically hazardous and they did not want to be involved in that. Now you have a lot of people who get plenty of validation, hundreds of comments, free dopamine from just simply posting a comment, from just simply posting a picture on social media. No guy gets that. No guy gets that. On average, women have lower median IQ than men. Women have about 4 lower IQ points. This was a meta-analysis by Nyborg. And women constantly report greater happiness because they could be posting a single picture and getting all the validation which 95% of men are not getting in their entire lives. As much as people like telling you, but brother, it's not the validation they want chat, bro. Shut the fuck up. When was the last time an ugly woman complimented you? A woman you were not attracted to? When was the last time that happened to you? That a woman you are not attracted to gave you a compliment? Your experience probably is a woman who is not attracted to you treats herself like she is too good for you. While it's the opposite case for women. Every single guy, even on their level, is throwing themselves at them. Even those are compliments. Those give you dopamine even though they get annoying after a while. That is something, that annoying dopamine, if someone has to put it that way, is something you are not. Your dopamine source is your phone screen and your fist. That's what it is. Like, so if you are testing a lot of guys for it, of course there are, and also high IQ is also linked to some higher rates of neurodivergence. So of course earlier, in an environment which did not focus this much on like when men had to put themselves somewhere and they were kind of guaranteed that if they gave the results they would be picked, instead of these days you just give the results and you are still like a backup option if you are not Chad. Then of course this plenty of high IQ neurodivergent guys who are extremely capable of doing good, but they just simply bitch out because they see how life is. There's a lot of guys who are bitching out, who are high IQ, and they're bitching out because they know that there is no point in life. Because they're neurodivergent and their entire virtue in life is being rejected by women who can smell their neurodivergence from a mile away. This doesn't mean that given the right environment, they cannot be more accomplished, have more jobs, have better jobs than the bumbling double-digit IQ Chad like Jeremy Meeks. They absolutely can. They absolutely can. And the reason they do not is they're bitching out of society. So of course you have to take all of these things into account. You have all of this range of people whom you're taking IQ tests from. But in individual cases, if the guy is not bitching out, then IQ is going to directly predict happiness. If you are taking out those cases, those outlier cases where there are men with obviously low IQ performing well in life because they have some other genetic trait which makes up for it, then of course this is like the same people who are going to tell you, brother, IQ is the most important thing. Look at Putin, look at Jeff Bezos. Those guys are running the world, bro. Those guys are running the world and they're short and they're balding. Now shut the fuck up. You're not Jeff Bezos. You're not that guy. You're not cucking all of Europe. You're not Putin. You're not that guy. That guy. You don't have connections like that. You don't have parents like that. You don't have parents like that. This is gonna hurt some of the users of like some of the viewers, right? Like I know at least two subscribers who have horrible parents, who have absolutely horrible parents. You don't have parents like that. So of course, this is why you get the statistics. Like I said, it's like identical twins. Identical twins are on paper genetically closer, but there is no way they can bring themselves into existence. Those identical results, those congruent results, are both a result of some kind of intermixing between looks, height, IQ, and neurotypicality. That is it. That is it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, like, know your place in life and act accordingly.